What is good? Osiris here in AOC news. I just use AOC as a mascot, kind of like Trump, for topics on the populist left. And even though she's a fake populist in my eyes, that's how I named the channel. Thank you for joining. Mitt Romney slams, lambasts Biden for considering broad student loan forgiveness and calls it a bribe for voters. You guys have put me in the position where I'm now agreeing with Jim Jordan on stuff, Matt Gaetz, and they don't even relate to this dude here. And I agree with Mitt Romney. Mitt Romney's not one to blast Joe Biden. He's one to always go with Joe. They're on the same team. Guys, it doesn't make sense. I really like the populist left. I'm not against. I'm a big supporter of the people. And I'm going to show a topic here where we had good discussion with me and my boy on Twitter, Will Cormier. He's a great writer. And I want to talk about why. Why am I not for this? So don't turn it off just because I'm against it. But let's look at the bullet points at least. Mitt Romney said that after Biden suggested that he wanted to cancel at least $10,000 in debt, he was looking at other ways to do it. He was like, nah. Mitt Romney's like, nah, we can't do this. A growing number of GOP lawmakers have urged loan forgiveness will hurt, or argued loan forgiveness will hurt taxpayers and the economy. I'm not an expert on the economy of the loans. I want to look at, would it increase inflation? We're already suffering from inflationary pressures. And what you don't understand, what the left does not understand this. They really do not. The inflationary pressures from the stimulus packages and all the money we're spending in general, not just the stimulus. And I agree with the left. I would not want the big companies to be bailed out, but the fact is they are. So we got to stop that first before we do any kind of other stuff. Because all right, hold up. You say you can't do it. You still got to give money to the people. Now look what you happen. Now you're going to go to the store, and pretty soon you have to spend $5 for a loaf of bread. That's a tax on a tax that hurts the middle and lower class the most. You are fighting for policies that hurt you. And I don't know if that applies to the loan. I'm not an expert in that. Because you're eliminating debt, does that create inflationary pressure? I'm not sure. Mitt Romney ripped into the White House Wednesday. He said desperate polls call for desperate measures. Dems considering forgiving trillions in student loans. He did this on Twitter. Other bribe suggestions: forgive auto loans, forgive credit card debt, forgive mortgages, and put a wealth tax on the super rich to pay for it all. What could possibly go wrong? He's right. Why is your debt so special? What about people who went to college and took out private loans? Is your loan more special because it was a government loan than somebody who took a private loan out? Oh, so maybe you have $20,000 of student debt, just throwing it out. What's the difference between that and a credit card debt? What's between that and I got to pay off my car? I got $20,000 left on my car. What the hell are you thinking? This doesn't make any sense. That's bad legislation. That's bad legislation. And Biden is not looking to do this. He's giving another fake signal. When are you guys going to get this? Before or after reparations? It's a lie. He's not doing this. He's already done a little bit of stuff, but he's not going to do anything serious. You're in the place where you got me looking at Mitt Romney like, you got a good point, bro. Biden's approval ratings are in the low, especially among younger voters. You got Democrats fearing about rising prices and inflation, and I hope it's all worth it for Ukraine. That's another topic for another day. Biden extended the pause. Looking at midterms, it's looking terrible. Let me show you the discussion that we had on this. I'm going to end with this. So we found out about this news. I found out about it through Brian Taylor Cohen. So I said the same thing Mitt said. I said, so it's legal to try and buy votes. My boy, Will Cormier, is great. He said, That's what people said about the stimulus checks on which Trump insisted his signature be printed. I agree. I absolutely agree with that. Now, I was for stimulus because it started with the poison fruit of lockdowns, crushed the economy, picked winners and losers. Bad idea. Now we know we didn't need it. There's studies that came out and said we didn't need lockdowns. And then now you had to do a stimulus, because if you didn't do the stimulus, we might be in a better place now, but we had riots and stuff. We would be in a really bad place with people not being able to pay their rent and all that kind of stuff. So the stimulus wasn't huge. It was just, check every, how many stimulus was it? 2? But it helped prop the economy up for the time. And Will says, I'm for anything that helps normal Americans in any way. I agree. Nobody blinks when checks this big are handed out to Boeing and every airline every recession. I agree. That shouldn't happen. I absolutely agree with that. I agree with most of the whole rest of his take there. So then I think I replied to it. So Will said that, and I gotta go look for my reply to Will. I think I quoted it. Well, Mama Bear, let's look at Mama Bear quote tweeted, said, "This hurts normal Americans too. It hurts poor Americans the most. Great policy liberals. Give money to the blessed while torturing the uneducated." So now you have a policy where people who didn't go to college, people who chose not to go to college, are going to have their tax money go to somebody who did to get it paid off. The American middle class shouldn't have to support the entire world like their illegitimate child. I think it's a good tweet. I think it's fair. I really think it's a fair tweet. Some other people replied to mine. See if I can find it. Twitter sometimes hides comments and stuff, but so we had that going back, and really what that stemmed from is I asked the question. I said, okay, Will, because Will thinks he's very reasonable, and I said, Will, okay, number one, are there any inflationary pressures if you cancel student loans? Is there any? So I was like, truth. I'm all for helping people. Would this cause inflationary pressure? I honestly don't know. What is the long-term problem that this solves? What is the long-term problem that eliminating student debt right now for everybody who has it solve? Because there's people in college right now racking up debt as we speak. And you know what they're going to want. You got it, I want it. So I'll end with this. I think the populist left and the populist right need to unite. And need to unite and to stop the bailouts for these big companies. And then say, we'll take the money, X amount of money we'll save or pay down the national debt. The rest of it we'll use towards things that you care about or we care about. Populist left, you care about student loans. You can use that to pay off some loans. Populist right, you care about free speech. Maybe you can use it to promote free speech or whatever the case may be. Let's make a deal. That's, at the end of the day, that's what we need and that's what I want. Take care.